This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Teen among two killed at bar in Lilliput. A teenage boy is among two people killed in one incident in Lilliput, St. James on Saturday night. Rashid Stewart, 17, of New England, and 34-year-old Leroy Service of Bobman Hill, both in Lilliput, St. James, were shot dead around 8:45 p.m. The police say Stewart and the Service were among several patrons at a bar at Bobman Hill when men armed with guns opened fire, hitting them. The shooters escaped in the area on foot. The police were summoned, and upon their arrival, the two victims were rushed to the hospital, where they were pronounced dead. Police constable shot and injured in Augustown. A police constable was reportedly shot and injured during an operation in Augustown, St. Andrew this morning. According to reports, the lawman was on a joint military operation in the Vietnam community in Augustown when he was shot. He was taken to hospital for treatment. Trelawney schoolgirl charged for wounding another in viral video. Detectives in Trelawney have charged a 15-year-old schoolgirl who was seen in a video that went viral, stabbing another teen. The Wakefield police say during an altercation about 5:30 p.m. on February 10, the schoolgirl used a knife to stab her peer several times. The police were summoned, and the wounded teen was taken to the hospital for treatment. The accused was later brought to the police station by her mother. The child was arrested and charged with wounding with intent. Her court date is being finalized. Suspect in fatal shooting of Jamaican teen in Canada arrested. Michael Moncherry, the man wanted in connection with the shooting death of 14-year-old Jamaican-born Tafash Riley in Mississauga, Ontario, has been apprehended. The 19-year-old was taken into custody on a manslaughter charge late Friday and made his first appearance in a Toronto court on Saturday, the Peel Regional Police stated. Details of the outcome of the court proceedings were not disclosed. A Canada-wide warrant had been issued early Friday for Moncherry-Desir's arrest in relation to Tafash's death, circumstances of which are still unknown to date. Canadian media have reported that the Peel Regional Police were called to an apartment building located at 7170 Darcel Avenue in Moulton around 9 p.m. on February 1. Cops were called in after a resident found Tafash suffering from a gunshot wound in the stairwell on the third floor. It is said that medical personnel pronounced her dead at the scene. Tafash was a grade 9 student at Dufferin Peel Catholic District School. The 14-year-old, who was originally from the St. Andrew community of Wilton Gardens, popularly known as Rima, migrated to Canada with her family in 2012. Jamaican students in Ukraine have started to leave. Some Jamaican students studying in Ukraine have started to leave the country in light of warnings from Western powers that an invasion by Russia could be imminent. More than a dozen countries have urged their citizens to leave Ukraine. Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith says other Jamaican students are making arrangements to leave the European country. 4 have decided to leave. In fact, 1 has already left, 3 have made arrangements to leave over the next few days, and 1 new student has just arrived. So we recognize that the circumstances can change rapidly in this highly charged geopolitical environment, and as we have advised the students, they should continue to assess their circumstances, and there will be further updates in this regard. The government says 42 Jamaicans are privately pursuing tertiary studies in Ukraine. Meanwhile, the Foreign Affairs Minister is urging the remaining Jamaican students to monitor flight availability in case they need to leave Ukraine. She also wants them to make arrangements to travel quickly if circumstances change. Local investors could look overseas to meet poultry demands. Agriculture Minister Pernell Charles Jr. says the local investors could look to countries such as Brazil and Canada to import hatching eggs to consistently meet local poultry demand. He says additional sourcing could also be done in the United States. His suggestion comes amid reports of shortage of baby chickens. Charles says local poultry production had declined by 7%, but there have been signs over the last 2 months of a turnaround. If Jamaica is to move to a place of self-sufficiency or to improve our capacity, diversifying and increasing our potential to do so means that we have to look into bringing in new entrants and look at our ability to provide for our people. Charles added that he has been meeting with the stakeholders to find solutions to the level of increases in the price of grains for animals. He says farmers have been complaining about the impact of high prices on their operation. He says research will be conducted on developing low-cost feeds used by farmers, and he will also be focusing on cushioning price increases of fertilizers. Jamaican arrested following seizure of Ganja boat. A Jamaican man has been arrested following the seizure of Ganja on a boat in the Bahamas. The Royal Bahamas Police Force said shortly after 1 a.m. on Thursday, a team from the Drug Enforcement Unit went to Potter's Key Dock in Nassau. The team executed a search warrant on a boat in the presence of the crew members on board. 2 boxes were found to contain 65 pounds of ganja. The Jamaican and the Bahamian were subsequently arrested. Ground broken for $75 million Westmoreland road project. Ground has officially been broken for the rehabilitation of the March Mount to Retrieve Road in Westmoreland. According to a release, the groundbreaking ceremony took place last Tuesday. The project is expected to cost $75 million. Work on the site has been underway since last December and is scheduled to be completed within the current financial year, which ends on March 31. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Everald Warmington, said the scope of work on the 3.8-kilometer roadway includes clearing of landslides, patching, drain improvement, construction of retaining walls, as well as reshaping and resurfacing the corridor. The project is expected to bring relief to motorists, farmers, and commuters, he added, noting that the government remains committed to the development of the country's road network. Ian Fleming Airport to get new fire station. Transport and Mining Minister Audley Shaw has announced that construction of a fire station for the Ian Fleming International Airport in St. Mary is slated to begin next month, with a deadline for completion by the end of this year. While addressing Wednesday's US $34 million contract signing ceremony for a runway expansion project at the Saxor International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James, Shaw noted that talks are currently underway for flights to be appointed to the Ian Fleming Airport. The Ian Fleming International Airport will get a new fire station with a projected cost of $130 million, and the construction will begin in March of this year and finish in December. I can say today that we are now actively in discussions with several major airlines that will be looking at putting smaller flights into this particular airport, Shaw told the meeting. That will be a further expansion of our tourism business, and it is very much something that will be commencing once the fire station for the Ian Fleming Airport is completed. All of these things will be part of our expansion program. That update comes 2 months after it was revealed that the Ian Fleming Airport will soon begin weekly scheduled international flights with the Inter-Caribbean Airways out of the Turks and the Caicos Islands. At that time, the increased aviation traffic out of that airport was projected to bring in US $2 million into Jamaica's economy. The minister also outlined several other aviation projects that will be given special focus by the Airports Authority of Jamaica, to include the revamping of aerodrome sites such as the Vernon Field Aerodrome in Clarendon and the Lionel Densham Aerodrome in St. Elizabeth. The AAJ will also place focus on our aerodromes, including the Vernon Field Phase 1 domestic runway project and the acquisition by lease of our Holland Bamboo Airstrip in St. Elizabeth, to be done to facilitate airlift to local residents and for tourism attractions in the area, such as Appleton Estate and Wise Falls, Shaw outlined. In order for us to communicate our industry's positive story effectively, we must rethink our own ways. We must be willing to step out of our comfort zone to move our priorities forward, and we must be focused on delivering results. Shaw's remarks came less than a year after his predecessor in the Transport Ministry, Robert Montague, gave the assurance that the government would be moving to upgrade Jamaica's aerodromes as part of plans to improve commuter travel. Montague noted that concerns has been raised by local and international travelers about the distance and the length of time taken to traverse Jamaica via road. 16-year-old boy believed to have shot himself with a police brother's gun. The Mapen police are investigating the circumstances behind the death of a 16-year-old student of Top Halls Hall, Clarendon on Saturday, February 12, 2022. The incident reportedly occurred at about 9 p.m. The available information indicates that a 28-year-old police constable who is assigned to the Spanish Town Police Station in St. Catherine was at a premises believed to be his home in the above-mentioned community when he went to take a shower along with his girlfriend, during which he took his firearm into the bathroom but left it outside the shower enclosure. While in the shower, he reportedly heard a loud explosion, and upon investigating, he first saw a brother of his who suffers from Down syndrome holding his head at the bathroom door, seemingly in shock. The lawman then discovered his now deceased brother on the floor of a bedroom in a pool of blood, with the cop's firearm close to him. The injured teen was rushed to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The matter is now also being investigated by the Independent Commission of Investigations. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.